Oh yeah, we are back. I am so excited. Welcome and thank you for joining me today for session number 2 of the Motionsoft Technology Summit webinar series. Today we'll be discussing how technology can help health clubs stay relevant in the eyes of their members. Leading our conversation today is Paul Bowman, CEO of WEXER. But before I introduce Paul, I want to thank our official media sponsor, the Fitness Business Podcast, with host Chantal Broadwick for their support of the Technology Summit and this webinar series. Speaking of supporting roles, my name is Todd Tweedy. I'll be your moderator for the webinar series and your host for the 5th Annual Motionsoft Technology Summit on October 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. at the newly opened Line Hotel. You're going to love it. I hope you guys can make it. Hey, and speaking of schedules, hey, be sure to block off time on your calendar for Wednesday, September 26th, when my Zone Master Trainer and Senior Account Manager, Emily Sopo, leads our next webinar on how to engage members using wearable technology. My Zone sessions are always popular, so be sure to sign up early when you get the email registration link later today. All right, speaking of signing up, have you registered for the Motionsoft Technology Summit yet? If you haven't, this is your time. We're 3 weeks out, and the summit's an amazing event. It really brings together some senior executives in and around the fitness industry, maybe even more so than you would see in an IRSA board meeting. All kidding aside, the summit really does bring together smart people who are passionate about improving member experience and technology innovation in the fitness industry. In fact, the theme for the 5th Annual Motionsoft Technology Summit is the convergence of IT, sales and marketing, and nurturing and deepening member experience. This year, our morning keynote speaker is Jim Worthington, our newly appointed IRSA board chair and the owner of the Newtown Athletic Club. We're really excited to have Jim lead things off here for the 5th Annual Motionsoft Technology Summit. All right, now, before I introduce your presenter today, I'd like to remind you that this webinar is being recorded. Your microphones are muted, but you will have the ability to ask questions via the question feature I'll review momentarily. After your webinar concludes, you'll be sent an email with a link to download the presentation. Now, I just want to make sure everyone's familiar with the webinar control panel. First, you should have a control panel on the right side of your screen, similar to the image that you're seeing here. If you don't, look for the control panel screen in your taskbar. It's that orange clover icon. Just click on that to open the control panel. All right, if you could, let's take a moment to familiarize yourself with that question interface. If you could, type, "Hello, Paul." Excellent, thank you so much. I see a couple folks typing away. Appreciate it, Karen, you're the best. Thank you, Ron, you're too kind. Thank you, David, Taylor, rock and roll. Excellent, it seems like you guys have a fairly quick grasp on how to use the control panel interface. Hey, just a quick little reminder, we're going to get to the Q&A session after Paul's presentation, and if we happen to run out of time, we'll make sure we'll connect you directly with Paul. All right, now it's my privilege to introduce today's session leader, Paul Bowman, Chief Executive Officer with WEXER. Paul's a successful and enthusiastic fitness industry professional with experience as an operator globally with Les Mills, Virgin Active, and Gymbox as a supplier. He serves as CEO of WEXER, a company that supplies pre-recorded and live-streamed group exercise and cycling classes to a majority of the top 30 health clubs around the world. As an elite athlete, Paul competed on the New Zealand national volleyball team, winning several regional and international titles. He's dedicated to the fitness industry and contributes actively as a writer and speaker. It's my pleasure to welcome Paul Bowman to the Motionsoft Technology Summit webinar series. Hello, Paul.
Hello, Todd. Thank you for the intro. What an intro. And I love the music too. That's changed.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That's Dano Songs. And actually the song is called Junk Ship Gold. Pretty cool.
Love it. Love it. All right. So let me kick off. So just a little bit of an intro into WEXER to put in context about what I'm about to say. We work with health clubs around the world, providing the digital platforms and the fitness content that goes on them to make sure health clubs are able to provide even more of the fitness experiences their members want. What I'm talking about here is apps, virtual classes, live streaming, and so on. And for us, it's the sort of technology consumers are increasingly looking for. The data in our business proves this with growing demand. We serve, as Todd said, we serve the majority of the top 25 health club chains worldwide, and we've seen 153% year-on-year growth for the last 4 years. In this half year alone, we delivered over 6 million sessions over our mobile devices or our in-club technologies. So essentially, we see technology as a tool that enables operators to remain relevant in an increasingly digital world where more and more fitness is being consumed online. What I mean by relevant for us, though, is all about keeping clubs at the heart of things. So looking at the landscape that we're faced with these days, essentially the game has changed for us as operators. Digital fitness is now making fitness easier to consume, whether it's streamed videos or social media influencers. Fitness apps or online weight loss programs, activity provision is now no more than a click away. And consumers are responding. The internet now, of course, is the first point of call for many of those looking for fitness programs. This tech-based approach is not only convenient for the end user, it also meets consumers' growing expectations of personalized products and services. Essentially, these products are using data to collect, about the individual. Digital fitness programs are able to reflect our goals, our preferences, our interests, and our progress to date quickly and in real time. This personalization, as we see it, will only get more reliable and more compelling as AI continues to advance and get even smarter. In the meantime, until health clubs embrace this opportunity, we're faced with a challenge in our industry where membership figures remain trapped or under single-digit growth, while digital fitness is soaring. So let's look at the stats. So if we look at a very, very macro view, if you're not convinced by the existence of so-called digital members, the stats essentially speak for themselves. There are currently 100 to 521 million users of fitness apps and wearables around the world. Essentially apps and wearables are the two earliest components of what's now becoming a broader realm of digital fitness. And they're enjoying strong growth, and all the forecasts suggest that this will continue over the coming years. And so if we look at the stats in regards to how digital fitness subscribers being defined as people that are paying for a subscription on a monthly basis compared to our health club market. Of course, there is no small numbers that we are achieving in the health club market, and health clubs remain a critical part of the fitness jigsaw and will continue to do so. But there needs to be some evolution of a model that acknowledges and indeed embraces the growing importance of digital channels when it comes to reaching the fitness consumer. As you can see, the first three stats, we've got 200,000 health clubs. We're making 87 billion worth of revenue, and there's 174 million health clubs worldwide. There's healthy growth rates, but nothing compared to what digital fitness is doing as of now. So 78 million finished in 2017, and that's reported to be, or estimated to be about 124 to 130 by the end of this year. So it's growing exponentially. So, and of course, this means that there's money to be had within digital fitness subscriptions, especially for health clubs. So then, if we look at our survey in regards to what we kind of wanted to understand what this means all in practice and what specific challenges can be addressed by digitally transforming your health club. First of all, we know the gym industry suffers from a very high churn rate of members, and everyone knows exercise is good for you, but it isn't easy to develop a habit or stick to it. We wanted to understand why and what could be done about it. So we really wanted to understand the main drivers of cancellations, and if there is any correlation between the main drivers of cancellations and people picking up digital products. And so what we found was that there's 3 major drivers of cancellations within our health club industry. Is that they didn't get feedback on their fitness performance, they didn't get workouts designed for them, and they didn't get flexible membership options. And all of these, these major 3 reasons are the reasons why digital fitness is growing so heavily, because of the fact is, the digital fitness options like a Beachbody or a Sweat with Kyla are able to give that fitness performance instantaneously and offer suggestions in real time. Of course, they get designed workouts for them, and even though it's delivered by AI, it still feels real and it feels authentic. Of course, they have flexible membership options where they can drop in and drop out whenever they want. So we wanted to do a little bit more research in regards to kind of who's using the clubs and understanding the kind of wider segment in regards to digital fitness and clubs. And what we realized is essentially you can profile these members on a basis of how confident they are. So if we start on the right, the achievers and the focused are the people that are in our clubs right now. They're the people that are working towards something, trying to achieve weight loss, trying to get fitter, essentially feel confident in our facilities. If we move to the next 2, which is the free spirits and the neutrals, these ones, the classic kind of class pass or the aggregator type of solution talks to them directly, because they're not confident enough to commit to a particular plan or goal in mind. They know they want to be healthier, they want to have a fitness routine. However, they're not too sure how to do that yet. So they look at options like a class pass where they can go to multiple boutiques. They can go to a low-cost club. So they haven't fully committed based off confidence. And then the huge opportunity which our industry needs to improve on, and what digital is doing very well at taking them from us or growing the pot for us, is the confidence seeker and learner. So what we realized in our research is the fact is, gyms have an ability to be able to do that, but they are very intimidating environments. And so what we've seen with people engaging with digital is the confidence seeker and the learner is where usually they will start to engage with digital before they go into a physical club, which is, if we look at a lot of even our content partners, what they would say is one of their biggest threats to their offering is gyms, because their content gets people confident enough to go into gyms. But the way, from a WEXER point of view, we see it is that gyms should be doing that. So let's meet them where they are digitally and let them flow through to our clubs. But let's embrace the fact that we could have just a digitally engaged member before we have a physical member. So then, I guess to wrap up that is, in a nutshell, not everyone will go to the gym, but they will engage with digital fitness because it's easier for them to do so. They can download a solution directly, on their couch if they want to. And this is a fact that, operators must recognize and act on if they want to future-proof and grow their business. So digital transformation. So we speak a lot about digital transformation. It's a bit of a hot topic or a buzzword right now. So what I want to do is spend some time kind of defining it. So so first of all, for us, that means creating digital memberships. This isn't about abandoning bricks and mortar. It's about club operators taking ownership of the digital space as well as the physical one, by creating digital memberships for those who want to access the expertise and programming in this way. Importantly, this is about choice and convenience. It's about being relevant to every member and every potential end user by harnessing the delivery channels they choose to use. These channels might be physical, or they might be technological, or a combination of the two, but clubs need to access every single option and make the appropriate choice for their target market. All of this not only better serves, in our opinion, all of this not only better serves existing members, giving them constant access to expertise of the club, all available at the fingertips 24/7, but it also makes health clubs memberships more appealing to a broader audience, from those who don't feel ready to enter a club to those whose lifestyle means a combination of in-club and remote workouts suit them best, to those who geographically more remote to attend in person. So essentially, how do we do it? And we see mobile is the key, is key and the key. Mobile phones are the key to delivering digital memberships for sure, and that's great because it's a device that people are already comfortable with using to run their whole lives. It's also a portal through which many already access fitness content. For us in the digitally transformed club, the phone becomes a membership key. The club remains the hub of expertise, advice, content creation, and in-person experiences. It's this seamless integration between all channels of reaching the member that characterize the digitally transformed health club for us. So, in my opinion, a digitally transformed club is a seamless integration of digital and physical contact with the member 24/7. It's essentially, being the gym that we know and well, but also being the gym in the pocket as soon as they're outside those facilities. So therefore, fitness, we believe, to make sure we are as relevant as possible, must be on demand inside and outside the gym, and that is what we define as a digitally transformed club. So I know we're probably all reasonably visual, so I just wanted to kind of emphasize this a little bit more as, just to give a simple graphic on this is, we don't see tech and health clubs as an either or, rather than that we actually see, and when we don't see technology as a threat or an alternative to our health club, we advocate blending it into an overall health club experience. Tech then becomes a tool that helps health clubs remain relevant today, as well as future-proofing the model for tomorrow. For us, quite simply, it ensures that health clubs remain at the very heart of the fitness experience in an even more digital world. So then, the one thing I haven't touched on, which is a bit of a key at the moment, is the personalization. If we look at our industry, of course, the innovations, we've had multiple innovations, but if we highlight the big innovations, delivering a low-cost experience has been an innovation which is succeeding right now. But we truly believe that a more personalized experience, whoever wins that and delivers a more personalized experience, will win the future moving forward. And so for us, if you're executing a mobile strategy or a digital strategy, this enables you to be able to drive personalization of the member experience. Essentially, the more data we collect, the more we know about our member, the more we can personalize and add value to that member and deepen their relationship with our brand and our products, both inside and outside the club. Imagine, walking into a club that thanks to all the data it's gathered through you and your usage patterns, knows what you like doing, knows what you're what you want to be associated with. Add a few beacon kind of technology to your club operation. This can translate into personalized recommendations popping up on the members' phones as they walk into the club, pointing them towards a class that's about to start, a special offer on their favorite juice, or money off, new Lululemon leggings for the next yoga session. The power of data to personalize at every level, and with it dramatically enhances the member relationship with your brand. So for us, the really exciting thing is essentially this is just the beginning. Looking forward, I envision a world in which all health club businesses are rooted in data and insight. So every decision made is a customer-centric one, in which tech is behind every member touch point, collecting data in and out of the club to deepen our understanding of the end user and ensure only absolutely relevant products and services are developed. In which we harness digital memberships to track and react to every fitness decision a member makes, offering them personalized content to keep them engaged and motivated on their fitness journey, and in which gyms are no longer restricted by physical or geographical boundaries, instead freed up to offer their services, their programming and expertise across such a wide range of platforms that they become the first port of call for everyone. So, and essentially, as I said right at the start, we want to keep clubs at the heart of things, but we need to be able to ensure that all of our products and our expertise are delivered in a way that can meet where the consumers are. And again, this is our mission at WEXER. Helping clubs to stay relevant and top of mind, however people choose to consume fitness in this new digital era. So then a little bit about, not too much, but, our WEXER digital ecosystem. So I talked a lot about how we're trying to help clubs. We've got a pretty end-to-end solution in regards to our ecosystem. So of course, please get in touch with myself or any of the team at WEXER. But we've got technology that helps in club and out of club, but also gives you the analytics and counting abilities, so you can quantify all the decisions that you're making both in club and out of club. And then my contact details. So, of course, and the whole point of this is trying to understand how the industry is, how do we make, to ensure that we're memorable and not just a memory. And then I think I'm going to open this up to questions now, Tom.
Oh, hey, thank you so much, Paul. And hey, attendees, this is your chance. So we've designed these webinars to give you more opportunities to have Q&A with our presenters. So here's your chance. If you could please compose your questions using the question interface inside of the control panel. And to kick things off, Paul, I got a question for you. So as we talked about...
Be nice, Todd.
I'm good. I love actually sessions with you. This is fun stuff that I like doing. So I'm curious, and I'm trying to help new club operators kind of dip their toe here into the digital transformation waters, if you will. And I'm curious, as we think about applying digital innovations to fitness programming, where do you start first? Is it the studio cycling classes, or somewhere else?
I get this question a lot, and for me, it's just start, because the thing is, the joy is when with your own technology is the amount of data that you can get by just starting and being able to adapt is significant. So if someone was to start with our a gym floor player, trainer, or cycling or gym floor, it's all going to serve a purpose to the members. For our point of view, is we've built that technology because it's serving a particular need. I guess there's an argument and a train of thought is solve a problem with the technology, which is totally makes sense. But I think there is so many layers of thought pattern. It's just a start, because it's essentially what people are wanting these days. We're living in a digital era, and if we don't have digital touch points and making fitness easy to consume, we're just not relevant is the reality. So I think probably to simplify my answer as possible, just start, Todd. Just start.
Interesting. And actually, as I'm rolling through the questions here, Dan had a similar question: what type of sessions have been the most popular via your platform? Is there a most popular session? What type of session is it?
Yeah, Dan, good question. It all depends on the execution, so because, for example, some, and I guess it depends on the platform. So, if for example, an operator is doing, a virtual technology and only has mind and body, of course, only mind and body is going to be successful. But if I look at it as a macro trend, essentially we're seeing mind and body growing significantly. We're seeing HIIT training probably for the first time in a long time kind of plateau in regards to, we kind of define as conditioning, but HIIT training as well. And then, of course, we're seeing the rise more and more of kind of more boutique options that are specific. So bar and ballet and and boxing. But I think in the mobile world, it's slightly different. We're seeing kind of the same habitual behaviors of how people use group exercise classes in club, but when it's taken out in mobile, it's actually more simplicity. That's what people want. They don't, necessarily large productions don't really work, or they're not proving on our system to work. People, essentially we are knowing we're speaking to an intimidated user, so they want to be walked through. They don't want to feel like it's, too intense. We kind of have to meet that content delivered to where they are, and that's how we essentially programming on the system with our levels, and we understand if it's a beginner or intermediate or advanced. So hard question to ask, because it's all going to, we're trying to personalize as much as possible, so it's trying to personalize to them, but definitely those are kind of the overall macro trends.
But as always, your responses are just loaded with information and trigger more and more questions. And Dan's follow-on question is actually pretty pointed, and his question related to, what sessions are the most popular. I think he's really looking for, is it live or is it pre-recorded? And if you could, just for me, could you break out whether new members that are trying streamed or on-demand programming, Do they like pre-recorded or do they like live?
Interesting. So yeah, so what we've seen is, live sessions are definitely having more usage, as in live stream sessions, because of course it feels more authentic. Also, I would argue with the big club groups that are doing that well is essentially they're executing it a lot better. They're executing it at the 5 o'clock at time. They're making a deal about it. They're saying it's the whatever it's the live streamed hour, or the particular hour that's on the timetable, and because it's unique, they're making a big execution play on it. So we're definitely with our live streaming and through WEXER broadcast, absolutely we're seeing higher usage numbers when it comes to live. But I would also argue that they're at the better times. I think that's what I think I've answered your question. Is that correct?
Indeed. Hey, let
Yeah.
me switch over to Rudy's, who has an interesting question. How does a club decide which is the best solution for their facility? Is it an app or is it this fitness content?
Okay, really good question. Look, as I said, I think it's important to start, but it's also what problems are you solving? Are you a club that's saying, look, we just want to be relevant to our members and have high quality programming 24/7 inside our club? So of course, WEXER virtual from a group exercise point of view, it totally makes sense. But then there might be, which we're seeing with clubs a lot now, is the counting solution is the key, because they want to know how many people are going into their live classes as well as how many people are going into their virtual classes. So I think the big thing that I talk to a lot of operators about is what is the business strategy, and then what is tech is the enabler of your business strategy. So if your strategy is growth of membership base, which most of ours is, but how we do that is all different, is then okay, we need to go where consumers are, we need to be relevant to them when they're doing their searching, so therefore mobile is a bigger call. If we're saying, okay, the strategy is we need to improve our retention rates, then our in-club programming and experience and constantly ensuring that they've got high quality content 24/7 is going to be the key. So that's when looking,
Gotcha.
but what is that in that club experience, if that
No,
makes sense?
that makes a lot of sense. And let me shift gears. Thank you, Rudy's. That was an awesome question. I'm going to shift over to Mario, who's actually, man, I'm telling you, and attendees, I'm getting to your questions. I know you guys are loading them up here really fast. I promise I will get to them before I let Paul go. Okay, here we go with
I'm
Mario.
scared.
What do you say to gym owners who ask, will my members actually use digital fitness?
Got it. Yeah, Mario. I guess my thing is that all the stats are proving that. Like of course we've had clubs that are. I guess more in the past we've had clubs that are struggling. At the moment, especially from our point of view, where if we're not achieving 10% of your swipes, virtual's not working. And I wouldn't. And there's loads of reasons. That could be content. That could be understanding the product. Again, I would download. I'm not plugging this too much, but I would download our research, because even in these clubs that are doing amazing percentages, I'll give an example of McFit have over 30%, European operator have over 30% of their swipes going to virtual. The research actually showed that they still don't, like 50% of their membership base still didn't understand that virtual was actually there. So again, it's how I strongly believe that everyone will engage in digital, because of course the live experience is just not convenient for everyone all the time, but they need to know that it's there. And I think if a club executes that well and ensures that it's part of tours and there is some execution strategy, it doesn't have to be vast, then you'll get usage.
So just a follow-on question to Mario's, which is, what's the runway? How long does it take my club to get to 10%?
So to be honest, some clubs can start as soon as they put it in. Of course, it all depends on the membership base and of course what country we're talking about. But the exercise that we say working with our account managers is essentially you just need to understand and have your best guess of what content needs to be delivered when, and then execute it. You only have to do that and probably tweak that rather than do a big scheduling exercise every single quarter. So it's a matter of, okay, who is the users? Let's take the example of mum's always coming into the class at 9 o'clock. It might not make sense to put on a a beach body class that's extremely high intense. It might make sense to have more of a mind and body offering, and then you just do that and look at your patterns of your club usage and who's in there, and then relate the content to that. You do that, you will succeed.
Awesome. All right, so let's remind our attendees here, you can submit your questions to Paul via the question interface inside of the control panel, and thank you for your amazing questions. I have a question from Garrett. Garrett asked, how do we build trust with end users so that they are comfortable sharing their data so that we can tailor their experience?
Completely understand. My argument to that would be, I guess, make it as relevant as possible. I think I look at my own usage patterns, and I look at, it's not, look at the other apps that are out there in the market. Is essentially people are wanting to, well, I guess maybe to answer that better is look at the data that's saying, okay, we're not personalizing things for them or the rest of it. People will want to engage with our platform and give us more data if we can make it more relevant to them. I think sometimes we've used data in, essentially used, maybe VI as the option. So you have a programming in the background that's essentially telling the commands based off of this person does this, and it's just not tailored enough. It's people expect a significant amount of personalization. So I think the more relevant we can offer, that more relevant content and experiences we can offer, the more happy they give it to they're more happy they're going to give data to, well, the suppliers or the club operators.
Gotcha. Excellent. All right. So give me a minute here. Taylor has a pretty good question, and it's going to take a second. Are you ready? All right.
Go.
Taylor asked,
I missed the name, though. Taylor. Okay. Yeah.
Taylor asks, you mentioned a blend of brick and mortar and digital, which I agree as the best path forward for gyms. My question is, do you think studios will have this opportunity, or will advancements in VR and products from companies like Peloton and Mirror move the brick and mortar from the future of classes and studios?
Yeah, okay, yeah, good question. So I'm assuming by studios, meaning more the boutique offering. Look, for me, I think it's what is expected in our age now. Boutiques have offered a great, of course, probably the best live experience and moved the needle in regards to kind of the experiencing the best that we have in our industry, because of course a lot of the operations have gone low cost and taken that value argument out. They still need to be as relevant as a health club needs to be 24/7. So we're starting to see, of course, the likes of Barry's and Flywheel live stream to get their product out there, because they know that they can't survive completely by just offering that bricks and mortar experience, especially moving forward. So they're investing in the future proofing, which is exactly what clubs are doing. So it is, again, for a Barry's or a Flywheel or a 24-hour or a McFit, it's about how do we remain relevant to that user. That's the thing that we have to solve. If we solve that, then we're able to have all the nice things, have the data on them, personalize their workouts, but of course affect retention and help sales.
All right, so now it's time to talk money. Are you ready?
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Has there been a study on how much a customer is willing to pay for a mobile solution in addition to a gym membership? I mean, is that something you want to sell a member?
Well, that's essentially what we're doing with WEXER Mobile right now. Is that we're selling digital memberships. Of course, we've got a freemium version and a premium version of our app. Our premium version gives them access to live streaming, content on demand, and transformational plans or workout plans or influencer plans. Everyone calls them something slightly different. So, what we the original research that we did is people wouldn't pay kind of anything over that kind of $7.99, or let's use USD, $7.99 USD mark if they had a club membership as well, and that's really what we're seeing. Essentially, if it's too high of a price point, then you're not really discounting the digital products out there. So what we saw was people would have a gym membership and go to another digital offering. But what we've seen, personally, is success when we've gone slightly undercutting the current providers, and that's when we're seeing, kind of in the bounds of kind of a 5 to 12% uptake of the current club members. Sorry.
Are you running into any operators that are worried about cannibalization, that offering a digital membership is going to hurt their brick and mortar memberships?
No, it's to the contrary. Like I think that it's the same argument that used to happen within virtual 3 years ago when everyone said, well, virtual is just going to kill live, but it actually did the other thing. It actually grew it because essentially it's growing the pot. It's growing, it's, not talking to, the research that we showed, it's not talking to the focus and the achiever. It's talking to the confidence seeker and learner. So it's growing the pot to do it. And, our research, we've done a lot of this in regards to, it showed an increase of around about 12%. And then with, essentially why we went into the app space rather than staying in club is that we knew we had a missing link. We knew that people were engaging with content, outside as in engaging digitally, but then we had no link in. So we're kind of expecting from a WEXER point of view, we could only see people could only use our technology when they went inside a club, which was wrong. So what we know now is that people engage with content at home, they get more confident, they want a better experience. They come in, they might see that same content played in club from a virtual point of view, and then great, then they go to the live. But from our point of view at WEXER, that we've done our job because we've enabled that person to go from the couch sitter right to a confident user of our amazing industry.
Hey, Paul, where can folks learn more about WEXER and ideally pick up some of the research that that your company has published?
Yeah, so just jump on our website. And that's we openly publish all of our research. We're actually just doing our new research piece right now. Our marketing director's telling me to plug that. So, and I think that we finish by the end of this year, and then we'll publish all those results, which will be a unique piece because it'll be the fact of how it's digital and virtual together, where a lot of our pieces in the past have all been just mobile or just virtual. So, but what we're really understanding now is they're so intertwined because people just want digital experiences and relevance, I guess, to where they are and what they're doing.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Hey, a couple more questions here. One from Mario who's asking, what is the potential of virtual fitness?
Yeah, huge. I guess in what regard, Mario? That's what I need.
Well, I think Mario's kind of digging into programming, right? And
Okay.
thinking about, how does this impact their fitness programming and what can a club do with this opportunity?
I think a good way to answer that is just like, look at the impact that live streaming has had for the traditional health club operator. Essentially, if you think about it, we've got some amazing content getting produced every single time, but it's locked in four walls and it's delivered to as big as the room can deliver. But the thing is, if we get that amazing instructor out there, it's exponential. Essentially, a one club operator now has the ability to compete against all the biggest club operators in any geographical situation because they're able to get their content delivered out there, and that's the way we need to start seeing it. So I guess it's exponential, and to be honest, I don't think it's capped. But again, it's all relating to how you want to execute. How does it relate to your member journey? And do you think you have the best content in the world that you want to share with the world? Because if you do, you're going to start getting a whole lot more leads, and essentially you're making it easier for someone to consume your facilities because of the fact that they can understand what they're about to go into.
Interesting, and interesting from the standpoint of where does this take us? And I think Mario's lead-in question here is kind of fun. What's the future of the gym industry look like, and what services will we see in 5 years, maybe even 10 years? I mean, how is this industry going to change as a result of digital?
Look, I think, I don't want to keep saying the same words, but of course we see it as a blended experience, and we know that people move on a spectrum of confidence. When we know that people that are less confident will engage with digital first. So, we have to damn well execute that well before we, really kind of impact it hugely. But, and I talk about mobile phones are the key, but that's only now. Like if we start having content produced for a contact lens, which Samsung has just patented, that will become the key to unlock things. If access control to a club is based off that contact lens and all the rest of it, the future is limitless. But I think what it all comes back to is the basics of relevant content, personalized programming, get results for people, and do what the industry's proud of doing, but let's just do it to absolutely everyone.
I love it. And I think with that, Thank you so much for joining us today. Folks, you can learn more about WEXER and Paul Bowman and his team by visiting wexer.com. That's WEXER.com. And of course, I hope I'll see you October 3rd through 5th at the Motionsoft Technology Summit in Washington, D.C. It's a beautiful venue, and it's going to be an amazing, amazing event this year. Our 5th annual summit kicks off at 6 o'clock on the 3rd. I hope to see you there on the rooftop drinking some margaritas. Have a great one. Thank you for joining us. September
Thank you
26th,
all.
I'll send out the links. Paul, thank you so much for your time today. It's such a pleasure.
Cheers, Charles. Thank you very much.
Bye,
Talk
everybody.
soon, everyone.
Have a great
Bye
day.
for now.